So the pulse rifle Jorum's Claw is dropping this season. Now this is the quote-unquote new reward for Iron Matter this season, but keep in mind, this is an old weapon that we had back in Season 2 of Destiny 2. Now granted, back then, you didn't have anything on your weapons. Matter of fact, you had scopes, a magazine perk, and one trait, and it was static every single time. So even though Jorum's isn't technically a new weapon, in a lot of ways it is, as we never got to truly experience Jorum's in its full form. With that being said, these are the random rolls on the pulse rifle, and I got to try out a lot of different combinations. One of them was actually this roll right here, Iron Grip and Kill Clip. Iron Grip substantially increases our stability at plus 20, and guys, no lie, it was feeling so good. And I was going back and forth between controller and mouse and keyboard. This was a very solid and stable roll. My roll also came with high caliber rounds. Nothing really in the barrel department that increases recoil direction, but if you do apply a counterbalance mod to its base recoil, that pops it up to 88, which is pretty vertical. No lie, this roll right here was probably my favorite, simply because Kill Clip cranked our damage up to 40 damage per crit and 24 per body. This easily gets you the 2 bursts, pretty much no matter what. I mean, we're talking 5 crits, 1 body on max resilience, and 4 crits, 2 body on mid resilience. Keep in mind, guys, you've got some rounding of numbers. Either way it goes though, even though Kill Clip was nerfed and it's not doing 33% more damage, but instead 25%, where it is now, I think it's still really good. On top of that, you can constantly keep reloading upon itself, refreshing the perk rather than having to wait for the perk to run out, then reload, or swap to another weapon, swap back, and reload in time to proc Kill Clip. Overall, I think it's a good trade-off. What I will say about this roll right here, guys, what made it for me was the extra stability there from Iron Grip. Even though minus 30 reload speed sucks, I mean, it's terrible, especially when you're trying to proc Kill Clip as quickly as you can, I still loved the way this roll felt, especially for controller. Matter of fact, when I would swap out rolls, losing that stability, I would feel it. Now, with something like Kill Clip, this does substantially drop the TTK value here. Instead of it requiring 3 bursts with a time to kill value of 0.93 seconds, with it being now 2 bursts with Kill Clip, that pretty much drops our TTK value down to 0.47, which is cooking. Keep in mind though, it requires to get a kill to activate. Now, what hurts all these adaptive pulse rifles is really their base time to kill. 0.93 seconds is just not good. Granted, it has a lot of forgiveness. Like, even if you were to go in there and land majority of your body shots, you're probably still gonna get the kill in 0.93 seconds. Hell, to even secure the optimal time to kill 0.93, you only have to land 6 crits in 1 body. So very forgiving here, guys. Again, adaptives are a dueling weapon. However, with that being said, there are some monster pulse rifles out there right now. Most notably, the Neomuno pulse rifle Phylotactic Spiral, which we recently reviewed, and that pulse rifle sits at a base time to kill value of 0.67. And if you have our Headseeker roll, you have even more forgiveness. So again, adaptives are kind of a hard sell in this sandbox. With that being said though, Jorum's, it has everything that you would want just in case we find ourselves in an adaptive 390 round per minute pulse rifle meta. Number 1, it's origin traits. Now I know it has Skulking Wolf, we're at low health, Guardian Final Blows with this weapon, grant enhanced radar, and remove you from opposing radar. Now don't get me wrong, I do like that perk, and it actually works in all of Crucible. However, Sura Synergy is really what makes this weapon, especially if you're utilizing a Kill Clip roll. Reloading grants the weapon bonus handling and reduces incoming flinch for a short duration. Now this is a nice buff in these areas. You're getting 40 extra handling and 20% flinch resistance. It lasts for 6 seconds, which is perfect there for Kill Clip at about 5 seconds. So during that time frame, you've got a weapon here that's able to 2 bursts simultaneously. It has flinch resist and it feels stupid fluid with that high handling. Now, was this roll that I had in my hands the God Roll? Well, it's good, but I think it can be a little bit better. Starting with the barrel perk. Some of you are going to want to max it out with Arrowhead Break, and by all means, if you want to do that, go right ahead. Keep in mind though, if you were to say load out Extended Barrel instead, this would crank it up an extra 1.25 meters, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, and that's really up to your preference. But if you were to go that route and throw on a counterbalance mod, that would put you at 98 recoil direction. And again, Extended Barrel hurts your handling, but keep in mind, you've got Sura Synergy, this is granting you handling, and you can actually pre-proc it before going into a gunfight. Now, what you also can do is you can roll Arrowhead Break, high caliber rounds if you want, Iron Grip, and then just roll a targeting adjuster mod. This will crank that aim assist up to 65. We also have artifact mods this season, which makes our solar mods super cheap, so you can easily rock like triple solar targeting, and to counter that Iron Grip reload speed, you can actually rock triple solar reload. Again, base reload without anything helping you. Like if you are not rocking Ophidians or triple solar reloads, guys, that reload speed is painful, and you really don't want to be waiting all day long. Now, if the stability didn't feel so good, I would not be recommending Iron Grip. I'm just saying, for my controller players, it felt nice. It was helping a lot in every single gunfight, and I think it's something that a lot of of you will appreciate. Now, for my mouse and keyboard players, personally, I don't think Iron Grip is necessary. Not as much so as it is on controller. I really liked it for controller. But for you guys, I feel like moving target is always a fantastic one. Matter of fact, I had a moving target frenzy roll, which actually performed pretty well. The problem is getting frenzy to proc, which I didn't have too many moments where it did, but if I could stay alive long enough and remain in combat for 12 seconds, you would get that 15% increase there in damage. Now listen guys, don't sleep on frenzy, especially in 6v6. And on this pulse rifle, frenzy is enough damage here to secure that 2 burst. There's actually a moment there on Pacifica where I was able to proc frenzy and it was disgusting what it was doing. Getting all the beautiful things, that increase there in handling, that increase in reload speed, the fact that it can persist even outside of the gunfight. It's not like the perk just goes away. Reproc and Surah synergy over and over, increasing my kill range due to that bump in damage from frenzy. Again, we don't look at frenzy as a PvP perk because it's not as easy to proc unless you're in a situation where you have prolonged gunfights. Again, not something I ran into a bunch, but when it did happen, my god, was it perfect. Now, as far as moving target goes, I really like it. I think the aim assist buff is really nice. The increased target acquisition. I'm not saying that controller players can't utilize moving target. Trust me, it will still benefit you. All I'm saying is I got so used to that high stability roll with Iron Grip that I felt it whenever I would actually swap rolls while still using controller. But for mouse and keyboard, I feel like I have a little more control over my recoil, especially at great ranges, which is where moving target comes into play. Really helps at snagging those headshots. Now, I do want to touch on a few quirky ones here. A lot of people yesterday were saying, I can't wait to get a Gutshot Straight roll. Whew, fellas, it is not worth it. That increased body shot damage is not worth the ginormous drop off in target acquisition. Now, enhanced Gutshot Straight, perhaps, but keep in mind, pulse rifles only get a 10% buff in its body shot damage, whereas auto rifles, as well as bows and hand cannons, get a 20% buff. There is a play to be made with Gutshot Straight, and most notably, Gutshot Straight Enhanced, but on an auto rifle. Matter of fact, if you've got Amit, you can actually get a craftable Amit with Enhanced Gutshot Straight. I'm not saying it's meta, I'm just saying that at least is a better play. But here for Jorum's Claw, if you're just trying to get that God roll, Gutshot Straight roll, I highly recommend against it. Now, the 3 other perks I want to talk about is Incandescent, Golden Tricorn, and Headseeker. Let's first start with Golden Tricorn. This is a solar weapon, which immediately made me think of our Jurassic Green build. Last year, you saw True Vanguard rocking this similar build, but essentially if you have a solar weapon, you got Golden Tricorn, and you rock Aether's Embrace, you can get those weighted knife kills, which again, really cranks our damage up. But you see guys, if you get a kill with the pulse rifle, it procs Golden Tricorn for the first stack. Then, if you follow up with either a melee or grenade kill, this will actually increase our damage by 50%. So for the first stack, it's 15%. For the second stack, it's 50%. Now, a fantastic trait if you're utilizing neutral game abilities inside of PvP, but this would increase my damage at 2 stacks up to 52 damage per crit and 32 damage per body. It's nuts, guys. It is insane damage, but you gotta jump through some hoops to get that going. Yes, you can secure a kill in like a burst and a half, but at the same time, you gotta get a kill, then you gotta get a melee or grenade-based kill, which again, certain builds could definitely achieve that, and then you got roughly 10 seconds to take advantage of Golden Tricorn 2. It's beautiful damage to look at, trust me. It's addicting, I love it, and I definitely don't want to say it's not a good trait for you to utilize because some of you have these nutty builds that really focuses on your neutral abilities. My problem with Golden Tricorn inside of PvP, it's just harder to do those sequence of events in order. The weapon kill, and then you got to remember to get a melee or grenade kill right afterwards to get that 50% buff. And in order to keep that 50% buff, you have to continue getting ability kills. So it's not like you can hang on to it by just getting weapon kills. Now, what about Headseeker? Now, I know in our final tactic review, we spoke so highly of Headseeker, primarily because it does increase target acquisition now, on top of increasing our precision damage after landing a body shot. It does not change time to kill though. Like, you may be able to squeeze out a 2 burst if you land in 1 body, 2 crits, and then 3 crits on like a 0 resilience guardian, but that's pretty much no guardians. And believe me guys, I have tried to make Headseeker work, most notably on things like syncopation. I even played with syncopation for this review because I actually wanted to be able to compare these two, as these pulse rifles are so similar, considering they belong to the same foundry, they've got Surah synergy, and they're both 390 round per minute pulse rifles. However, as much as I like syncopation, and I do, it's a very good weapon, Jorum's Claw is more lethal. Now keep in mind, syncopation, especially the craftable version of syncopation, that weapon is stupid consistent. And then on top of that, you can get things like rangefinder, and of course, since Zim Moment just got a buff, you can rock things like Zim Moment. It's very good. I mean, you've got a pulse rifle here that can reach up to almost 46 meters. It's nuts. Whereas we go over here and we look at Jorum's Claw, we're barely scratching over 37 meters. But within that 37 meter range, I gotta say, guys, this pulse rifle feels really good. And I'm a little biased because, quite frankly, the reticle on Jorums is just better than that of Syncopation. That little red dot on Syncopation, it's all right. I know it's more precise maybe, but that thick reticle that's present there on Jorum's Claw, it's so easy to follow, man. It just guides you to the shot. And if you were ever a fan of Hawk's Saw, you will be a big fan of this pulse rifle right here. So guys, that is Jorum's Claw. For my PvE players, you do have Incandescent on this weapon, and I do advise getting Outlaw with Incandescent. At the same time, I'm not too crazy about pulse rifles inside of PvE. Granted, Bungie has stated they're going to be buffing all of the weapons inside of PvE, so hell, you may want to actually lock in that Frenzy roll with Outlaw and maybe Incandescent. Proc that Scorch and Ignition. So guys, that is our review here for this pulse rifle. Again, to get this thing, you need to be playing Iron Banner this week. We put out a guide already. You need to rank up first, obtain this weapon first in order for it to drop, and then you can focus it there with Saladin. We'll be reviewing more of these Iron Banner weapons, so be looking out for that. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.